All right, let's go through some super chats here. Thoughts on Sam Shamoon? Recently watched a video. Yeah, quit looking for drama here. Francis's favorite breakfast, ex Benedict. What's wrong? What's wrong with people, man? We're all seed vacantists tonight. What is this?
Data vacantist.
We're all.
That's tonight. Requiescat in pace. State of vacantism is when the seat is empty in the Vatican.
Oh, why do you know about all this stuff? And you've been.
But right now, it's
been a Christian for like 10 seconds.
I did this before I was Christian.
What's funny is you could just look at that and tell what it means, and yet I couldn't process it. It's funny. You can look at that list. Vacant. Yeah. Vacant.
The seat is vacant.
Yeah. Let's see. Check Baraka Amori. This has gone too far. What is that? Do you know what that's about?
Nope.
1 second. You mean Baraka in the Islamic sense of blessing? Let's see. I don't know what this is about. I will search for it in case this is referring to a video. Baraka Amori. This has gone too far. Okay, so Baraka Amori is a channel, 23-year-old entrepreneur and journalist. He's got a video on blasphemy laws. I'm looking for This Has Gone Too Far. I don't know if you're saying check this and you're simultaneously saying because this has gone too far, or if you're referring to a specific video by him called This Has Gone Too Far. But when I search for it, he's got one on blasphemy laws, something about someone stabbing a police officer, 13-year-old wedding marriage happened in UK. Oh, looks like he's commenting on some current events and stuff. All right, might check that out. I will check out that channel, and if it's terrible, who is this? Then Sam Sci-Fi, I will never trust you again. Seeing Chris, this is Mosh Cohen. Oh, by the way, one second. Shout out to some random for gifting 5 Apologetics Roadshow memberships. And then we have Mosh Cohen. Seeing Christianity repeat the Islamic Jews invaded Al-Aqsa during our holidays while literally flooding all over Jerusalem every Christian holiday is just too funny.
Christians. Yeah, there were some there's some funny stuff going on, man.
What? What's going on? What?
During Easter there were some controversies and some fights here and there, which is very, very funny.
Should we crush and humiliate everyone?
Yes. Let's do it.
Then, and so we shall. Victor G says Deuteronomy 32:25. The verse number is 4784 in the Tanakh Hebrew year. Interesting. Can you comment on that, please, in the context of the chapter? So you're saying you're tying the verse number in the Tanakh to the Hebrew year 2023. Oh, okay. No, I get it. Yeah, I wouldn't take it seriously because I think you can always do this sort of thing with numbers. In other words, if you have these verse numbers like this, you can always wait till a year lines up. Okay, so I think I get what he's saying. So Deuteronomy 32, that's about how God is going to punish the Israelites for turning against him and so on if they do. And then so 2023, I guess you would say what that is the fulfillment of it, and the numbers match up or something like that. Yeah, I'm not interested in. I think you can always do that stuff with numbers. It's like with the numerical miracle of the Quran. It's like, oh, this word is mentioned this number of times, and the opposite word is mentioned the same number of times in the entire. How's that work? Well, they just look at all the opposite terms in the Quran and eventually find the ones that line up and stuff like. So anyway, I'm not interested in, and I'm not saying it's not relevant or something like that. I'm just saying it's not something I take seriously. So the press bias. What?
Is it numerical miracle?
The numerical miracle. Mm-hmm. The live stream church service I watch gets more live views than Ali Dawa. Yeah, doesn't he get like 65 people watching? Isn't that weird for such a huge channel? I'm saying it's weird. Like if you had a smaller channel or something like that, 65, even like 10 people. If you have a small channel, having 10 people watch you live is actually cool. That's 10 people. I mean, it's like talking to a room full of 10 people, right? There are people listening to you. So that's actually cool. If you have like 1.3 million subscribers or something like that, and you can't get, 65 people watching you live, it means something's going on. If people aren't interested in watching you anymore. Weird stuff. You guys seen Anthony's debate? Shake so deceptive. Yeah. I was at that debate. You seen? In fact, I want to post. I'll probably post a video about that in the morning. The guy made so many like ridiculously false claims, but one of the things he said was Bart Ehrman was so confused by the Trinity that he became an atheist, and he said, "You see, Christianity is turning them into atheists." It's like, have you never listened to anything Bart Ehrman has said? Bart Ehrman says he became an atheist because of the problem of evil. There's so much suffering in the world that he just can't believe that there's a God in control of any of this. And so you change it. And so the idea is like the Dawa guy, they always have to make stuff up. They just have to. And there's never any concept of accountability in their community. Like you can lie all you want. And even if you're exposed as a liar, they just don't care. As long as you're doing it for Allah, it's good. So, Sheikh so deceptive. Trinity equals 3 gods. Islam equals peace. Same guy quoted rocks and trees hadith in a sermon. It's on memory. Oh, I'd like to know that then, because that is also a relevant video response. Anthony, in that debate, Anthony focused on all the stuff that matters. So Anthony was showing that the topic was, what did the prophets teach, Trinity or Tawheed? And so Anthony based his entire opening statement on what the prophets taught. And he showed it lines up way more with Christian theology than with Islamic theology. Then the guy basically granted that the prophets as they are in the Bible do not support Tawheed. But he said that's all been corrupted. And so you just can't see what the prophet, you have to believe the Islamic view, then use the Islamic view to say, the prophets don't line up with that at all. Therefore, their teachings must have been corrupted. So what are you basing your claim that Islam is true on? How? You can't show that it lines up with the prophets who came before because you're acknowledging that the prophets contradict it and you're saying, that all their writings have been corrupted. And then so it became a debate about the Islamic dilemma. So Anthony was showing, no, your book affirms our book. So how can you say that our book's been corrupted? But anyway, so the point is Anthony focused on the important stuff in his debate. He focused on what the Bible claims, what the prophets claim in the Bible, and then that the Quran affirms the Bible. But some of the other things they actually slid through, like what he said about Bart Ehrman. So he's focusing on the important stuff, and that allows me to go through and address some of the other points. Welcome to the Hotel Mutaforni Takia. Such a golden place, such a stuttering place. Can't get it up at the Hotel Mutafornia Takia. 72 won't do. Viagra has to. Hotel Mutaforni Takia by Mojab. Need a little work on the chorus, but I like the idea. So-called Kate Schumann AP is a total fake and gay. Ortho Bro 101. You got the ultimate Ortho Bro there in the picture.
That guy's nuts, man.
What? Whoa. He looks totally sane, though. Got to judge him by what he looks like, AP. Patrick Cola had a response on what Wes had to say, and I think he made a good point on the dilemma, and I think it would be great to see them debate. Who made a good point? Patrick Cola?
Patrick Cola.
I don't think he made a good point on the Islamic dilemma. I don't know who that is, but I don't think he made an important point on the Islamic dilemma because I've seen all the points on the Islamic dilemma, and they're pretty terrible.
Sounds like a terrible drink.
Patrick Cola. Let me see, Wes.
Oh, I found it.
What?
It's got 1,000 views. Maybe it's worth checking it out. I found the video. Patrick Cola.
Patrick Cola. I just typed in Patrick Cola. Nothing came up. I typed in Patrick Cola Wesuff. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I sent you the link.
Okay. All right. I will check that out at some point and then decide whether this person needs to be humiliated. Most people need to be humiliated, so I will heal the schism. AP the cake human. AP the cake human. AP is slowly transforming into a Latin American socialist are you doing?
Oh, yeah, because of the colors here.
Oh, you're a gorilla? Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, no, you've always kind of rolled like that. Yeah, you do. All you need is a picture of Che on that shirt, and it would look perfect.
There was a time when I was a huge fan of Che Guevara, when I was a stupid young boy.
Believable. I think we are all forgetting to give proper credit to who dealt the most damage to atheism's reputation. Reddit atheists. They did a pretty bang-up job. I'm back, and I married a terror rodent. It's Linda Farfour. Instead of Linda Sarsour, it's Linda Farfour. She married a terror rodent. Islam is a real banger. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Arctic-based. Let's see. Mojab's defamation defense lawyer. Wes's debate style is gentle kindergarten teacher versus sleepy toddler on the verge of a breakdown who, upon realizing he's being corrected, rage quits. That is correct. Random question, but why doesn't the Palestinian Authority mint currency instead of using the shekel and U.S. dollar? Well, I don't know.
That would require work on their behalf. They don't want to do work.
I wasn't going to say that because I don't want to be mean, but that is probably correct. And besides, if you have the technology to mint your own money, why couldn't you use that to build explosives? That would always be their thinking. What are we going to, this machine that you're going to use to print money, we could take it apart and use it for rockets? I always feel sad when I hear Muslims say they want Muslims and Christians to get along because I know that they don't realize what it means when the Quran says Jews and Christians are the worst of creatures. Or saying that don't take the Jews and Christians as friends or allies. Surah 5:51, and the verse you're quoting is 98:6, in case anyone wants to check it out. David, write that book. I'll take 10. Islamic Dilemma. Oh, yeah, I have to call it the Dislamic Dilemma.
Make it like that.
Yeah,
Do it.
Do it. Write the P-book. What's a P-book? Write the P-book. The book must also have counter-arguments to each argument so that we know how to refute each one. Yep,
that's what I meant. It's going to be a good book.
I agree. David should write a book.
A book.
Books are for nerds, though. Who reads books anymore when you can just make videos? Islamic Dilemma, brought to you by Allah in Momo. Yep. Hey, I should put that on there. Instead of Islamic Dilemma by David Wood, the Islamic Dilemma. Allah. He's the one who came up with it. My next reserve rotation in Judea and Samaria is coming pretty soon. Do you have a video about the dilemma only? I think I just found my new QR code. I have an animated one, Mosh. It's called something like 99.8% of Muslims don't know the Quran says this about the Bible. But that's a nice short animated version of the argument. So that would be a good one to share. Let's see. Someone suggested on This Week in Jihad that someone write a book with prolific writer Robert Spencer's help. Answer, no, that wouldn't work. Robert's actually a writing machine. That guy writes constantly and cranks out multiple books per year. Yes, please write a book all about the Islamic dilemma. Oh, hi, David. Yeah.
I just got his most recent book here, which he published. It's not like I'm going to read it.
Oh, hey, look at that! Look at that endorsement there. I do not believe a more important book on anti-Semitism has ever been written.
Dennis Prager. Yeah, no, I'm reading it. I'm going to look at it.
Sehr interessant. Love you guys from the Ghost. Thank you. But the Quran is fake and gay. Well, that's true. But there are people who love it. AP should write a book, Restoring the Eton Verses. That's good.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Jews coming to Mo. Momo. Yo Torah, where you at? That is, we need to reenact that scene. Bring me the Torah. Yo Torah, where you at? Yo Torah, where you at? This stream reeks of Christian triumphalism. Militant agnostics unite. Yeah, good luck with that. D Wood, check your email. Sent a pic of the Mubahala Bros. I'll check it out. Gotta have the Mubahala Bros. Is AP still an otter man? Now he's a cat human. Ooh, that's a good question. If you're a cat human, how can you still be an otter man?
I am not an Ottoman anymore. So I was an Ottoman. My ancestry goes back to the Otter people. So I have been an Ottoman for most of my life, but I had officially decided to go over to the other side, to the Greek side. So that makes me a cat human, also known as a cake human, and I'm no longer an Ottoman. So
That's good. That's good. So you heard it here, folks. AP officially renounces his Otterman status and is no longer part Otter.
I swear.
Yep. God bless you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Arguing the Islamic dilemma. Listening, they do not hear. Looking, they do not see. What can change a heart? Yeah, that is the difficult issue. And that's part of the reason for getting lots of other people using the argument and being exhaustive is if you have someone who's been raised his entire life and all his sheikhs and imams and dawah clowns, they all told him the same thing. The Quran says the Bible's been corrupted. And you come up and say, no, the Quran says that the Bible is the word of God. Well, who's this person going to believe? It's going to believe his sheikhs and imams and dawah guys, right? Because you're a liar. You're a liar. It's not his sheikhs and imams who are the liars. You're the liar. So it takes a long time. It can take some serious, relentless work to show him, no, we're the ones who are telling you the truth. It's your sheikhs and imams and dawah clowns who are lying. That takes a lot of time. That could take years to get a person to understand that. Guess what? That's what we're going to do anyway. That's what we're going to do anyway. We're going to keep bringing the argument, have more and more people bring in the argument, expose more stupid responses to it until people get the point.
You know what they say, though? It's not the eyes that are blind, but the heart.
Powerful. AP's got the hikmah. It's not just Sajid. AP's got the hikmah.
Such a stupid thing.
FYI, Ali Dawa's new video is him criticizing Muslims who post a couple videos together on Instagram and don't censor women's faces. But what Mojab did is okay. Yeah, that's how it is. Yo, look, if you want to have your secret wife and be banging her and have all these secret wives and stuff and be banging them and not provide for them while you banging them, then, that's fine. But whatever you do, don't show a woman's face in your Instagram video, yeah? And we're proud of that. Are you open to a ghostwriter, D. Wood? No. Please post the link for the Quran study group. Some Muslims claim the Injil in Quran is revealed to Jesus. The ones we have are written by disciples. Yeah, so Peter, one, it's in the Acts 17 community. You could just go back to one of the videos I posted. Go back to look up my video, the Quran project that will change the world. The Quran project that will change the world. Give a link to the community there. But even on that, those Muslims who say, the Injil in the Quran is revealed to Jesus, but what you have isn't revealed by Jesus. So what they're doing there is they're taking one thing the Quran says, the Injil is revealed to Jesus, and they're saying, see, you don't have something like that. What are they leaving out? The Quran also repeatedly says we have the Injil. So guess what? Even if you grant that and say, okay, all the Quran is saying is that there was a book given to Jesus, and that's all it means by the Injil. Okay, Muslims, then you have a problem because the Quran says we have it. Do we have a book that was revealed to Jesus that's just a book given to Jesus? As a Muslim, you have a couple of options on how you can try to work around that. None of them help you get out of the dilemma. Because what you can say is, somehow, what we have in the four Gospels was all given to Jesus. So somehow Jesus wrote all the four Gospels. That's one option. If the Quran is affirming what we have, then that's one way, and simultaneously saying this is given to Jesus. So one way out of that is one way to deal with that, to reconcile that, is to say that the four Gospels were revealed to Jesus. If you take the Quran seriously, you have to do something like that. The alternative, which I think is superior, but it doesn't help you out of the dilemma, is to say that the Quran is using gospel in a way similar to the way Christians are using gospel, in the sense that it could be something that's preached. It could be a message that you're preaching, in which case Jesus is sent with the gospel and Jesus is preaching the gospel and so on. Guess what? The Bible, according to the Bible, Jesus is preaching the gospel. He's preaching the good news. That's different from a book that you're calling the gospel. The Quran also calls a book the gospel. So one, you could say it's using the term gospel like we use it, that it can be a message that's being preached, or can refer to a book that you have right now. Because here's the thing, the Quran says we have the book. So in other words, when you say, hey, the Quran affirms the gospel and therefore we have to judge by the gospel, and they say, ha ha, the Quran says that the book is given to Jesus. Say, oh, okay. Do we have that? No, you don't have that. Ha ha, dumb Christians, you don't have that. Okay, well, the Quran says we have it, so you just contradicted Allah. Why is Allah wrong? Why are you saying that Allah is a liar? So that's how you roll with that one. But yeah.
It's contradicted, but yeah.
It's contradicted. Quran, the book of contradictions. The Quran quotes Pharaoh threatening to crucify people in 7:124. Yeah, crucifixion hadn't been invented yet. That's a problem. But it's using a form of punishment that didn't even exist for another 600 years. That's a clear historical anachronism, right? Yeah. And so the problem for our Muslim friends would be then explaining, what it really means is something different here. Jesus challenged the Pharisees to a mubahala in the unchanged Injil. What's the Injil? AP, now that you are a Christian, you can officially do mubahala with Ali Dawa. You can have your rematch. Make it happen. Curse Fest 2, Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, you should post that to Ali Dawa. Say, hey, now I believe in God.
That makes sense.
Let's see. Did you see Alex O'Connor call out Wes in a response to a longer ending of Mark? Video, Alex O'Connor exposes the biggest flaw in the Gospel of Mark? No, I didn't see that. And I wouldn't even be terribly interested in watching that video.
You're scared.
Where was Aisha's goat educated? Eton University. It's probably the worst joke ever. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Interested in Crusades? Do you have any info?
Get in touch with me. Yeah.
Yep. You got to be ready because AP's ready to pull the trigger on retaking Constantinople. You should look at the comments for that Petric Cola video. They are great, lol. AP sent it to me. So Arctic Base says, AP's turning into a Karen Schumann.
Yes.
It'll be nagging. And how much have you prepared for your Andrew debate? Well, I don't know if AP wants to say, but I can say no one prepares more for debates than AP. 20 minutes before a debate.
Yeah, I will probably, I haven't prepared anything yet. I even forgot that I have a debate until now. I will probably start preparing on the 28th or so in the morning.
Good idea. That is always the approach that I officially recommend. And here we have it. It took me to just look at the order and writing style of the Quran to see that it looks like a last-minute essay plagiarized from your colleague. Yeah, it definitely does. And what's funny is you're saying that's what it looks like to you. That's exactly what it looked like to the people around Muhammad. That's why they called him the ear, and that's why over and over again they keep saying, we've heard all this before. We've heard this before. Yeah. What are you doing? Claiming this is a revelation you just got from God. We've heard this before. They called it Tales of the Ancients or Fables of the Men of Old. And that's in the Quran. It's the Quran consistently responding to people who are saying, we've heard all this before. Why does Muhammad believe all these stories that everyone tells him? So people had the same reaction you did. And I think the reaction is correct.
They say these are tales of the old, but how dare they? May Allah destroy them.
How dare you? How dare you point out that this is stuff that people know? All right, guys. So that's all we wanted to cover. Wanted everyone to check out Wes's rendition of the Islamic Dilemma on Piers Morgan. These are exciting times. Again, Cameron Bertuzzi over on his channel, Capturing Christianity, has he cuts that part out and expands upon it a little bit. So that's a shareable video. So Cameron has a shareable video on the Islamic Dilemma there. Definitely want to be spreading all the material, video or otherwise, about the Islamic Dilemma as much as possible. In other words, if you're a Christian, or guess what, the argument works just as well for anyone else. Works for Jews because the Quran also talks about the Jewish scriptures. Works for atheists. You don't have to believe in the Bible to say the Quran is affirming the Bible, and yet the Quran contradicts the Bible. This argument works for anyone. This is a year where even if you are not going to be like making content on it or debating the issue yourself or interacting with Muslims on it, everyone should be at least sharing the videos and verses and so on as we're putting that material out there. Again, our goal is to make this common knowledge. Once this is common knowledge, Dawa is officially doomed. Not sure you've been paying attention, but Dawa is already on life support. It's really struggling. It's really struggling right now. We got to put it out of its misery. The Islamic dilemma is how we put Dawa out of its misery, guys. So that's how we're going to do it. And finally, the third orange says, check out CGP Gray's video, How to Become Pope When You Get a Chance, for some tips and tricks. You see this, AP?
I already went through it in a dream, so I know how it works.
AP already knows. AP already knows. So, but thank you for the advice.